to my channel and happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are all having a really great week so far. So for today's video, I am going to share with you some personal development books that have really helped me in my life. And I think personal development is one of those things that if you love it, you love it. And if you haven't really read the genre, it might be something that you think is sort of cheesy or something you might avoid doing because it's uncomfortable to read these kinds of books because maybe it brings up feelings in you that aren't the most pleasant. You know, it can be uncomfortable to sort of sit with yourself and look at some inner work that needs to be done to continue to grow. You might think, oh, that's cheesy or that's not for me. And I say that because that's how I used to feel about personal development. I have done a real 360. Personal development books can be really helpful to keep you in a sort of positive mind space on a day-to-day basis. You know, our mindset that we have is, I believe, a direct result of what we're consuming. If you're tuning into things on a day-to-day basis that make you feel that tightness in your chest and you're not regularly listening to uplifting and positive music or positive messaging, you know, whether that is on a YouTube channel or in a podcast or an audiobook, I think it's really easy for us to sort of absorb the energy around us. And again, this contributes to our mental health over time. So I'm going to share with you a sort of beginner's guide. I actually made a reading list. I put it on Pinterest. I'll share that with you here of some of my favorite personal development books that I think are really good for you to sort of start off with. So again, I haven't read everything. I'm not an expert, but these are just books that I have enjoyed. These are books that I think can help you. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in watching, then you are in the right place. Let us get started. If I'm looking down, it is because I have put my laptop in my lap so that I can easily and quickly see all of the book recommendations that I have for you. In the reading list that I have made for you, I kind of set each group of titles based on the type of person that I think they would be most beneficial for. Again, these are my opinions, but hopefully this is useful for you. So the first set of books that I have on here are books that I would recommend for an entrepreneur, someone who has an entrepreneurial spirit. You just need a little bit of an extra boost, a little bit of maybe some inspiration, or just someone to call you out on your BS. The first one is Girl, Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. Now, I've talked about this on my Instagram before. I'm reading it currently. I have not finished it, so that is a big disclaimer, but I'm loving it so far. And I love the way it's set up. It's set up with the first section of the book is excuses that you need to get rid of. You know the excuses, we all have them. The thing that's stopping us from either getting started or staying on track to meet our goals. And then the next section talks more about different behaviors that you can adopt to get you on track, to get you that momentum. And then the last set is more, I think, skills to develop, and it talks about confidence in there, which I of course am really excited about. That's a huge theme on this channel, is being confident and self-loving and all of that good stuff. So that book is definitely on the list, because if you are starting a business or a side hustle or whatever the case may be, you definitely need to call yourself out on your BS, and you need to have those good behaviors in place so you can make positive changes. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you have a goal, which as human beings, we are all born with goals and dreams, that book is helpful. The next book is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. I love Brené Brown. She writes a lot about shame and being vulnerable and having the courage to do something scary and to make a mistake and to get back up. These are all critical tasks for all humans to master, but especially, again, if you are wanting to start a business. I think being able to show up totally imperfectly and all of that stuff, that is really important. So this book, The Gifts of Imperfection, is really good. Another one I would recommend by her is called Daring Greatly. But anything that Brené Brown has written that you pick up, you are in good hands. The third book that I recommend for entrepreneurs and also for all humans ever is to read You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. Now, this is a book that she reads on Audible. I've listened to it, I want to say twice. I actually bought the hard copy because I do that. If I listen to something on Audible and I really like it and I just want to absorb everything, I might also get it in a hard copy so I can underline too. But this book is amazing. Jen Sincero, she's a badass. She is a no BS type of person. But the number one reason I would recommend this book to you is that it will help you to call yourself out on your subconscious thoughts about money and how to sort of get over the weirdness that so many of us associate with money, with a desire to make money. And she talks a lot about how to heal your relationship with money so that you can actually go out and make more of it. And it's a great book. It's great if you feel uncomfortable talking about money, weird, or if you feel strangely guilty for wanting to make more money. I don't know. There's a lot around that topic, and I realize that, and I'm not going to try and even get the tip of the iceberg on that subject, but I will highly, highly recommend that book to you. The next subset of books in my reading list for you, I titled as Books for the Woman Who Has Been Through It. When we get knocked down, sometimes it's easy to stay down and to feel sorry for yourself and to feel sad because something really, excuse my language, but something really shitty happened to you, and you know, of course, feel your feelings, feel sad, but these are books that are going to help you get yourself back on track, get yourself back up, and I can't recommend them highly enough. So Love Warrior is the first one. Now this is by Glennon Doyle. If you are not familiar with her, she is such a cool lady. She's such a cool lady. Like, go follow her on Instagram. Read, I think she has another book coming out. She narrated Love Warrior. It's just a beautiful story about resilience, about finding yourself after the loss or during the loss of a really, really important, meaningful romantic relationship. And I just think, especially for someone who maybe has gone through or is going through a relationship that isn't going well, to put it lightly, I think this book could be something that might be beneficial for you. I have another Brené Brown book on my list. This is called Rising Strong. And then the third book is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. This is something I'm currently listening to on Audible. It is a lot about shifting your mindset from fear-based into love and into a feeling of abundance. And I think if you do just fall down and you have gone through something really tough, it's easy to get stuck in fear mindset, and you want to have somebody who's going to guide you back into a place of abundance. And then the last subset I have here is for the creative artists. I have a background in creative writing. I love making things. These YouTube videos are even just an expression of my creativity and my desire to make something. All humans are born creative individuals, and all of us are born with an innate desire to make things. It just varies what those things are depending on who we are. That's my personal belief. But I do have a series of 3 books, and I think absolutely every human on the planet should read them. They're amazing books. The first one is called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And this is so beautiful. When I was teaching, I taught for a little bit. I would have my students do some of these exercises. You take yourself on artist dates, you write morning pages. It's basically, again, helping you to get out of a fear mindset and get back into a creative headspace. And this book is a really great resource. The second book on this list is called Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. Again, this is based more for writers, but I do believe that any artist can benefit from what she has to say about getting in touch with our creativity. And the last, and probably my favorite book on this entire list, like the entire book was underlined pretty much. It was just, the whole book is beautiful. It's called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's one of my sheroes. I think she is a cool, super rad lady, and her thoughts on creativity are so cool. And she talks so much about how we attach our egos to creativity, and she talks about how our creative ideas or creative inspirations that we have are almost like this separate entity, and these beings, if you will, come to you and you can either choose to work with them or not. And I realize that that's big magic. It's very magical sort of thinking about this, but it's beautiful. It's a really cool approach to creativity, and she talks a lot about how to be a healthy artist. And I think we're all familiar with the stereotype of the tortured, depressed artist, and she talks a lot about how to sort of heal that. And I just think it's such a beautiful book. And I don't know that you would think of it as a personal development book, but it is, because it helps me to really give myself permission to go attempt to make the thing that's in my heart. And for whatever reason, as adults, it's really scary to do that. So this book is a great tool to get over yourself and to start making the scary thing. Another thing I will say about that is she had a podcast to sort of complement that book, and there were several seasons of it too, and that I recommend listening to that as well. She would have people write in with their artistic struggles, just all kinds of normal people like you and me who were struggling at different points with getting in touch with their creativity or with finishing a project that they wanted to do, etc., etc. And she basically comes in and gives them the most amazing advice, and I think it might be beneficial for you to listen to as well. So that about does it. That is a very, very beginning elementary guide to personal development. I have a list of other resources for you too, as far as keeping a positive mindset, but I'll do those in separate videos. I kind of wanted to take one video for personal development books and then look into podcasts and things like that and move slowly as we approach this new year. I want to give you all the tools that we can go into a new decade, into 2020, in a really positive mindset. And I don't think, if you are one of those people who is intimidated or resistant to the idea of personal development, I don't think it has to be that way. I think you can use the infinite resources there are in the world to sort of expand your perspective about yourself and about what is possible for you. Reading other people's stories who have been through it, that is the coolest thing. That's awesome. And we're so lucky that we have access to that we can listen to people read their stories to us while we're driving to work. That's really cool. So I hope this is helpful to you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Please also in the comments below, give me some examples of other personal development books that you have read that really inspired you. I want to know. I'm always looking for recommendations. I hope you have an incredible rest of your week. I will be back here tomorrow with another video. I will be here on YouTube every single day for the rest of the month. So please give me a thumbs up. I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye guys.